So now I'm going to talk a little bit about my history, my story. It's a story that maybe looks a little bit like yours, maybe a lot. I'm the proverbial product of the urban American scene. That's where I grew up. That was my surroundings. That was my environment. And the positive of that is that we had family. We were together, But the negatives of it really would shape me a lot. I mean, there was a lot of stuff happening that you would probably say, that makes sense for that part of the world or that part of America. There was substance abuse. There was a lot of bad stuff going around. And I was right in the midst of it. Now, my goal in that environment wasn't just a survival thing. It really was about where can I move to next? Because a lot of what I was seeing wasn't what I wanted to be when I became an adult. And quite frankly, when I look around today and I see where we're at, it kind of makes a lot of sense that I'd be in that position and that there'd be other people that would be thinking the same things, even today. So in that time frame, there was much that was going on that shaped how I thought. And I got to the place when I was around 13 where I came to know who God was. And it really did make a significant impact on who I am today. But here's the interesting thing. As you go along in life, sometimes we can use God. And use God, we begin to let Him be more of a partner to help us to get to what we want. And with all of the stuff that was happening in my family, that became a part of my approach. Now, fortunately, God's not up in heaven worrying about me in the sense of like, oh my gosh, Lord, I'm going to handle Eric's situations. So it really put me in a place where I thought I could run hard. And I was really driven by a lot of some negative things that happened when I was a kid. But it put me in a position where I was this hyper ambitious kid who actually turned into a hyper ambitious adult. And what better place to do that than the work world? And there was very much a welcoming committee around me that wanted me to strive and thrive in that environment. And striving and thriving was doing the things that maybe you're familiar with, right? Got to get promoted, I want to make a lot of money, I want to have a nice house, I want to provide for my family. And in the end, those things were not necessarily bad, but for a guy like me that was attaching my identity, and again, using God to help me get to where I wanted to go, it presented really big problems. Well, as I mentioned, you get to a place where you start succeeding, right? You get the applause, you get all those things that I mentioned earlier, and you really think that that's your crowning achievement. Well, my situation is probably not unlike a lot of people in America today, and that is you get to that place where you think you have everything you want, and then you realize, I'm bored. I'm not interested anymore. And quite frankly, you begin to ask that question, is that it? Is this all there is?